guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today I thought we'd have a little bit of a paint today for Shabby Saturday. Now I'm just going to do some jars. Now I've wanted to do this for a little while. I did this one the other day, and this was just a big sort of like coffee pot, and look at that, isn't that just beautiful? I am loving it. I'm using the love labels, which are just beautiful. They're called labels of love, not love labels, but they are just so lovely, and they just really do work on jars, which is lovely. I've just got this one. I've just got my paintbrush in this one because this is quite big, and it's just very simply done, and I just think it was lovely. So I've already painted one, and I'm going to paint these two. This is like a little spice jar. It's got like a little lid. I'm not sure whether I want to use this lid, but it's really cute, and I thought I would do a little one and this one, but I've done this one, so while these are drying I can work on this one, and then hopefully these will be dry by the time I've done this one, if you know what I mean. So these are all of the labels that I've got. So these are the labels of love, and they are just beautiful. Got all sorts of different sizes and shapes in there, which are lovely. Now instead of going through all of them, I have actually picked some. Look, I picked some here because else I'd be forever going through them all. So I've got a couple, got this one to go on here, and I just think that's going to look absolutely gorgeous. Now I do need to just trim this down just a little bit, but look at that. Doesn't that look just gorgeous? So you can put all sorts of bits and pieces in them, and I quite like to grab a jar to put, say I'm using these, that they're not getting lost on my desk. I can just pop it in there while I'm working. So that's why I like having sort of like lots of little jars. I got this little one to go on here, which is lovely. So it's True Love. So it's Valentine's Day today, so I thought I would do some nice little lovey-dovey ones and pretty things. Look at that. Don't you think that just looks so lovely on there? So we shall be putting those on, but I'm going to paint these. So I've got some chalk paint. So this is the chalk paint I normally use. I've got it in a little bag to keep it nice and fresh, and then I've just got my big wooden dowel in there to give it a good stir. I've got some gloves to put on, and then I've got a little bowl of goodies here, some laces and bits. I did actually dye some of my lace that I've got on these colours, so these are just beautiful. They've come out like a really sort of dirty pink, which is really nice, isn't it? And I've got just some bits of cheesecloth and stuff in there, and of course some tulle. We always have some tulle. Oh, and then I've got some little bits and pieces in here. So I made some more little roses in there, and I've just got some little embellishment bits that we could probably pop on there as well. So I'm going to put some gloves on. I think I better pull my sleeves up so I don't get covered in paint. So let's just, if I can get my gloves on. These have still got paint on them. I'm going to tuck my bracelets in so they don't jingle jangle about, hopefully. I'm going to paint with a sponge because I find that the easiest way to, or the quickest way to add paint to a jar. Now this is a little bit damp. I've sort of like dampened it just a little bit. I'm going to take some paint on here. Now again, this is chalk paint, and chalk paint basically goes onto anything without having to sort of like prime it, which is really good. But again, if you want to sort of like spray them with a spray paint or something like that, you can do that as well. That's not a problem. But I like the sort of texture that this gives as well. So I'm just going to dab it all around. These are just jars that I've kept. I've got a couple of those great big coffee jars, because I buy the coffee in the big jars, because it's really difficult actually to get coffee, the nice coffee, without the instant coffee that we use, and not percolated coffee. The Portuguese do some amazing coffee, but we have the instant coffee throughout the day. but we have the big jars. So I've got a couple of those which I kind of like. They're really nice to put sort of like flowers and stuff in as well. I'm not too worried about doing the top because I will cover that with a little bit of ribbon or something like that. But I want to cover it just a little bit. This one's a little bit harder to use because it's quite small, this jar. They don't take long to dry. This is just chalk paint, so it doesn't take long to dry at all, which is good. And the big one, I did that the other day, and I put my heat gun inside to heat it up from the inside as well. So the glass was quite warm while it was drying. And that seemed to sort of like speed it up a little bit. It does chip off. Now I haven't put any protector over the top of it, no spray varnish or anything like that, but you can paint them with Mod Podge and if you like. But you know, I quite like it when it sort of chips. It makes it look a little bit more sort of shabby, doesn't it? And not too, you know, clean. You don't want to be too clean. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just leave that. I'm going to go over that again. So we just want like a sort of a thin layer. Let's pop that down. I'm going to do this little one. I'm going to do the top first. Quite like this little jar. Little spice jar. I've thrown these little jars away before and now I wish I had kept them. I don't know what I'm going to put in it, but we will find something, even if it's just going to sit on my shelf looking pretty. I could probably make a little flower or something to go in it, couldn't I? A little cluster of those would be really nice. So let's just pop that on there. A little bit of glue. This is so much easier to do than sticking my sponge inside the jar, inside the little tin of paint. So what have you guys been up to today? Let me just get that off. Anything exciting? Did you have anything Valentine-y? Do you like Valentine's Day? Are you on your own and it's quite nice? What I mean, sometimes it's very sort of what's it called? Oh, I don't know what you call it. Hyped up. Valentine and things are quite hyped up, aren't they? But you should be nice and loving every day. You shouldn't have to just do it on one day. It should be every day. Which would be nice to get chocolates every day and flowers, wouldn't it? But there we go. Right, I think that one's pretty much done. Just going to go over this one again. I'm actually going to, it's got little lumpy bumpy bits on, but I quite like that. I'm going to go over this just for a second with my heat gun. Okay, that's pretty good. Let me just see if I need to just pop a little bit more on there. I was just wondering whether you could probably do some plastic jars or something like that, but they would be pretty light, wouldn't they? So you want something a little bit heavier to put things in. But I'm sure you've got a glass jars of some sort that you've got things in. We have, I think this one is my honey jar. I've got a honey jar and I also have olives that I get in a nice jar as well, which is like that size, and they're a really nice sort of like size jar to pop things in. We never have too many cardboard boxes or jars, can we? Right, I'm going to leave those now to just do a little bit of drying on their own. Let's pop this over there. I'm going to take my gloves off. I don't need these on now. Take them off if I can. And then we can just get down to doing this one. Okay, so this is drying because I did this earlier. I've got paint along this top bit, but it doesn't really matter like that. But fabulous. Right, I'm going to take this because I want to just measure this first, because this is the one I want on here, and I just want to sort of trim it down a little bit because it's a little bit too big. But I want to just, I'm going to have to trim a little bit off the top and a little bit off the bottom, like that, just so I don't get rid of the little roundy bit there. Let's just see if that will fit. It's got a tiny little lip at the bottom. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad, is it? Let me just see if I can squeeze a tiny little bit more off there. Like that. Okay, now, shall I use my little corner punch? There we go, that's better. Just round those corners. Just a little bit. There we go, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, nice and messy. Now, to put it on, I'm just using tacky glue. Really quite, oh, I'm not putting it on yet. I'm not putting it on yet. Rushing too quickly. I'm going to get some ink. Now, on this one, I think I added a little bit of pink on there, but I'm not 100% sure whether I like it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of my ink. This is the frayed burlap, so I'm just taking a little sponge and I'm just gonna dab it around, just so we've got make it a little bit sort of dirty, basically. Now you can do this with paint, but I don't have any brown paint. I haven't had brown paint for ages, and it's one of those things that I should have in my stash because I've wanted to use it few times, brown paint, and I don't have any, so I must add it to a list. So let's just make this a little bit grubby, like that. And I think ink looks quite nice on there, doesn't it? Just, I mean, it gives it that little dirty touch, which is nice, like that. Okay, fabulous. I'm going to add a little bit more brown in a minute when I've put the label on. So now we'll put the label on. It wouldn't have mattered if we hadn't put it on, if we had put it on beforehand. Let's just stand you up. So I'm going to add some glue, like that. I'm going to take this lovely little tool. I'm going to do this over here so I don't get glue everywhere. Just so it's spread over. We want to make sure it's on every little bit of this, like that. Oh, it's a little lumpy bit. We don't want a little lumpy bit. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's pop this on. Oops. I'm going to put it on. Just going to hold that for a second, just so it goes around. There we go. Just going to make sure there's lots of glue, well, not lots and lots, but make sure you've got enough glue on your little label. But look at that, doesn't that look lovely already? Oh, just so quick and simple. This is nothing new. This is nothing new at all. I've made these in the past, years and years ago, and they're just fabulous. Right, I'm taking my Stabilo pencil, and this is a water-soluble pencil, and it's quite nice for just giving you a little dark outline around here, like that, just like a little sort of dirty outline along here. So just go around it, and then I'm going to just get a little bit of my little water pencil and go on there around it, just to sort of like spread it out a little bit. Can go oopsie daisy, don't want to draw on the label. Now I've got my little water brush. which is here. So let's just go in there. So it just sort of gives you a bit of that sort of dirty shadow around the outside, like that. Lovely. Looks really good, and it looks quite nice when they're a bit sort of grubby, isn't it, on there? Oh, I like that. Go. Can always go back over it with a little bit of the chalk paint as well, if this comes out too dark. This is water-based, so it will sort of like wash off. But you can sort of like keep going back in with a little bit of paint. So just add that on. These are a nice thing to do if you do sort of like craft fairs as well. This is a lovely thing to do because people love jars, don't they? I do love a jar to put things in. I made one of these. I had this beautiful glass one. I should have pushed it up to show you really. I did it ages ago. I think it had like pickles in it. I think it was like pickled gherkins. A friend of mine gave it to me. And it's quite big, and it's got a really nice sort of like top to it. And I painted that and put a lovely label on that years ago, and I still use it in the kitchen to put all my little wooden spoons and stuff in. So these would be quite a nice little addition in the kitchen as well. Can you see? It's sort of like giving it that sort of like dirty look. So I like that. Now I'm going to go in now with a little bit of the darker ink. So this is, I used the frayed burlap first, and now I'm going to go in with the vintage photo just to darken it up a little bit. We will shabby these up in a sec. Now you could probably put another little label on the back. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sort of darken this up just a little bit. There we go. So I think that looks really, really kind of nice, doesn't it? Lovely. Oops, wrong lid. Wrong lid. Let's pop those over there. Look at that. That's lovely. So I think this is pretty dry now. I think they're quite dry as well. They are pretty dry. Let's make sure I'm all nice and clean. Now, let's do a little bit of decorating. We've got this beautiful rose on there, which is just gorgeous, isn't it? Let's pop it down. I love tulle. Look, we've got this beautiful pink tulle in here. I've got some, what have I got in here? I've got a little bit of pink cheesecloth as well, which is just yummy. I found my cheesecloth because I hadn't used cheesecloth for a long time. But look, it just looks so lovely on here. I'm going to cut a little bit off. Just like that. Little scruffy piece. Little scruffy piece. I'm going to pop some lace around the lid. I mean, it looks so good. That, and then we will have, I think this is going to be a bit too big. Oh, I don't know. Just to go around. This is just coloured with, what should I use on this? I think I used, let me have a look. I used a tiny bit of the muted violet. I watered it right down. A muted violet and the brown. I think it was this one, which is the burnt umber, just a tiny bit, and really watered it down and rubbed it together, and it gives that this lovely sort of dirty pink colour, which is lovely, isn't it? Well, you don't have to add the brown if you don't want it to be dirty looking, but I just think it looks really nice. Nice and sort of dirty shabby bits. So we've got, now we can put this around this way. so that sort of like comes at the front or at the side or at the back. Oh, decisions. What shall we do? Because we need to put something at the front. I'm going to put this scruffy bit at the front because I'm going to make a bow. I'm going to just, I think, because it's higher here, if I pop that in there, I might just sort of like wrap that over and stick that around, because this is quite big, and then it doesn't matter if I've got, you know, a scruffy bit at the top, does it? So I think I will do that. Pop that in. We'll have the little scruffy there. Probably won't see this because I'm going to pop a bow on there as well. But I do like that. So let's just glue gun. Good old glue gun. Let's pop that on there and see if it will stick nicely. There we go. Wrap that around nicely. So we want it to look scruffy, don't we? We want it to sort of look shabby. Pop a little bit of glue on there. Pop that in. Just like that. And I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on there. And just turn that over. Just like that. Let's just turn that. So it doesn't have to be neat. I'm going to put it on the lace because I don't want the cold of the jar setting the glue, because then it will just unpop off the top. There we go. So we just stick that in like that. Look at that. Isn't that just lovely? It's like a little jam jar. Just need to fill it with lots of sweeties. Oh guys, did you have a guess on the sweetie jar? Our little sweetie jar guess on Facebook group. So if you're in the Facebook group, do pop over and have a little guess how many. They're Smarties. They're sort of like the Portuguese equivalent to Smarties, or sort of like little M&Ms that you get. But I did count them, but we don't have that many in there now because we did have a little nibble. We did have a little nibble of them because they were very tasty. Very tasty. Right, now what I would like to do, I've got these ones. This is a little bit orangier. This is more of a dirtier pink. I do have, I think in here, got a little bit of this. I would like to make a bow. I'm going to make a little bow for this one. Let's take this off. This is some of that lovely vintage lace that I have. It's just gorgeous. Right, we don't want it that big, do we? So what should we do? Wrap it round twice. Do we want it a little bit bigger than that? That one, this one, that's what I did that big. So that was quite nice, wasn't it? I like it to sort of like dangle down just a little bit. So let's just pop that like that, I think. Like that, pull that over. Do that. Oh, I don't want to take it off there because I quite like it to stay on them, then I'm not sort of wasting any. And I can just sort of chop a little piece off. Let's pop this back onto there. What do you think? That's quite scruffy. That's a nice little scruffy bow, isn't it? Which way around? Can go this way. Oopsie. Oopsie daisy. Look at that. Oh, so lovely. And then I did want one of this, whether I put that one on the outside. So let's just see, because I quite like that look. I'm going to just do this once, just a little bow like that, because this is quite sort of floppy. I'll scrunch it up a little bit because this has been ironed. I do like it ironed to do these, and then I can scrunch it up afterwards. Let's just take that off for a second. Pop that over there. Let's give it a little scrunch. A little scrunch like that. And you see, and then that just goes over the top. Now to flatten those the knotty bits, I normally I've got flat nose pliers, but you can sort of use anything, and I just sort of like go in there and squeeze that, and it sort of like flattens that the little knot. This one isn't so bad, that's quite flat. Just so I can pop a little embellishment on there as well. Oh, look at that. That's just beautiful, isn't it? I don't think, guys, we need that, do we? I've got a little bit of like lace on here. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be a bit too much? I don't think it really needs it. Maybe a little bit. We like a little bit of layering up, don't we? Maybe I just sort of stick that on like that, so it sticks up, comes down a little bit. We shall pop this little one on right there. Oh look, we've got a little hole there which we can pop the glue in. You could have a little afternoon of painting jars, and then the next day you could sort of just embellish them all and make them all look pretty, couldn't you? That's beautiful. And we just pop this little one on top, like that. Stick that down. Look at that. Isn't that just lovely? Oh, I do like that. Right, that's all fluffy and lovely. What do we have in our little treasure box here? Got a little button. Oops, I got little strands everywhere. Got a little button which is quite nice. That's lovely, isn't it? Can you see that? It's got little things on. I wonder if I could cut those off. Where are my little... Oh, here they are. Got these little sharp things. This is plastic, it's not metal, it's plastic, so if I'm careful, I don't want it to pop in my eyes. There we go. There we go. Super simple, that can go in the bin. And then we can just put that onto there. Oh, I love it. Oh look, I've got these little roses as well. Maybe we'll put roses on another one. I do like this. This sort of thing is nice for Mother's Day as well. You want to have a little gift. You could pop some little flowers, a little bouquet of flowers inside. Would look lovely, wouldn't they? But how lovely is that? Isn't that just gorgeous? It'll fluff up. Oh, I love it. Just gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Did I say it was gorgeous? Right, so I have 2 of these beautiful jars now. Let's have a go and do this little one. Now this is quite nice. We've done all our painting, so that's good. Right, so we have a little bit of inking. Now, if you've got like a pretty pink ink, which I don't, you could use a little pink ink on there, a little bit of pink paint. I wasn't quite happy with the pink paint I put on the other one. I think it was too pink. Does that make sense? It was too vibrant, I think. But if you had like a nice sort of shabby pink, it would look lovely, wouldn't it? Let's just make this a little bit dirty. There we go. This reminds me of those old-fashioned milk bottles. Doesn't it? I don't know whether... When I used to live in Cornwall, my gran and granddad used to have them a milk float, a milk company, and they used to sort of deliver milk in a little electric, this is going back years, in a little electric milk float, which when I was little, my mum used to go and do days with my gran as well, and they used to, and if I was poorly, I used to go and sit on the little milk float as they go round, and this is like the milk churns that were on there, and all the little clinking milk bottles. Oh, I used to love it, absolutely love it. I'm going to do this one at the same time, so let's just dirty this up a little bit. So, do you know what I mean? It's quick, it's quite quick doing it with ink than it is with paint, but you have to have a base of paint underneath first, like that. Now again, you can, if you didn't have labels or things like that, these labels are from my shop, so I'll link them down underneath, but you can put napkins on there, which is a really nice thing to do as well. I'll go round that little bit in a minute. Just put a little bit on so that we can darken it up when we pop the labels on. So let's do this little diddy one. Where's my little label? Little round one. I just thought that was really lovely. Look at that. Isn't that just so sweet? Right, let's pop some glue on. Pop some glue on this one. I am going to have a day off tomorrow. I'm not going to do anything. I've been so busy that I do something every single day, and I just need, I think, a day off of, because our weather's still really grotty and horrible. So we are going to just have a day of doing absolutely nothing. We're going to put the telly on. We're going to sit in front of the TV, we're going to eat, or we might even play games. We like to play Scrabble sometimes. And Trivial Pursuit. We quite like a bit of Trivial Pursuit lately. Keep our brains in action. Look at that, isn't that just beautiful? So let's go round it with this. Yeah, there's so many different ways you can do jars, isn't there? You can just paint it. I think that the traditional one was sort of like the mason jars, wasn't it? Years and years ago. I think there's so many ways to embellish jars and stuff, but I think it's quite nice to just have a little bit of paint, a little bit of lace, a little bit of ribbon. Pop round them. They don't have to be too fancy pantsy. You can do whatever you like. Oh, I can't get the lid off. Oh. Use whatever you've got. If you've got a nice napkin, use a napkin on there. Bit of paint. You do need really chalk paint on them, or spray paint, because I'm not sure. I don't think sort of like your acrylic paints will. They maybe work. I've always used, the chalk paint on mine. So if you've got chalk paint in your stash, I would use that. Look at that. I want this to be a little bit more grubbier, I think. Oh, I've just taken the paint off that one. I just scratched all the paint off. That was a bit silly, but that's okay. Need to wait until they're a little bit drier than mine, but you can see where I've scratched the paint off, but I quite like it. It's not bad, is it? That's nice and scruffy. That's nice and scruffy. Let's go in with a little bit of this, a little bit of a darker one. Go in. Oh, I like this little jar. What would you put in this little jar? Just like a little flower. I think we could, I need a little sort of flower, don't I, to go in it. I bought some lovely little bulbs the other day. They were in the supermarket, and they are tiny little what they call narciso daffodils, the tiny little daffodils. Oh, and they are just beautiful. They've all come out in sort of flower now. Oh look, I've just scratched it all. That's with my nails. My nails are way too long. But there we go, love it. But it looks quite sort of like old, doesn't it? I do like that. I need a little bit more of this without scratching the paint off. Just want a little bit darker down here. I would leave the paint to dry just a tiny bit longer than I left this one. There you go. You could paint little flowers all over it if you're good at painting. Little flowers on there. All sorts of things you can pop on to these. There we go. Inked up. Oh, that looks nice and grubby, doesn't it? How lovely. I do like that. Right, shall we decorate this one? Look at that. I think that looks so pretty. Okay, what should we pop around this one? This has got sort of a more of an orangey look, I think. Did I have another one? This is an orangier one. Or we've just got, actually, I might just go with the plain. This one, I think. That will fit going around the top. I'm only putting it around this bit because I don't want to see the little sort of top. Oh, I do like that. Wow, that fits perfect. Let's just go around the back. That's lovely. Oh, did I cut that long enough? I think just about. Just about, I think. Let's put you on there. Oops. There we go. Oops. Just cut your little flyaway bit there. Oh, look at that. I just cut that just perfect. Look at that. That looks nice just like that, doesn't it? I'm loving this. Little bow. Do you think we should have a little bow? Should we have a little bit of tulle on this one? Like a little bit of tulle. Let's take this. This is very thick. Let me just... I sharpened all my scissors the other day. So they're all nice and sharp. I'm going to just tie it a little bit. Let's just go around once, I think. I'll go around this way, like that. I can just tie a little sort of knot in the front and then pop a little bow on there, couldn't we? Just like that, can you see? And I'm going to go in. I'm going to just cut that in half, and then I can just, oops, don't rip it, pull it out. Oops. There we go. Can you see? It's got all sort of scruffy like that. Don't pull too hard because you'll pull it all off. Right, let's get in here and make a little bow. One little bow. I think one little bow. Is that going to be big enough? I think I might like it a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. Then we're going this way. Around it this way. Under there. Like that. Pop that. Lovely. Chop that off. Pop that out. Let's have a little wiggle about, and pop that on there. We've got the little tool coming out. Isn't that just so cute? Oh, we're doing cute this week, aren't we? A little bit. Is that the middle? I think that is the middle. Which way round? This way? Don't think it really matters which way round it is. Like that. Oh, I'm loving these. It's real scruffy. Like that. Look at that, guys. Isn't that just beautiful? I love it. Right, do we need anything in the middle of it? I've only got sort of biggish things. Oh look, I've got one of my little thingies would have been quite nice. I think that's a bit too much. I think that might be a little bit too much. You know, I don't think it needs anything. I've got that. I don't think it really does, but I do have, the only thing I do have is, let me just grab this here. Did I have any of those little, is this a better colour? Because that goes with that rose. I wouldn't have the green on it. I'm going to take this off. Don't want the green on there. That's quite a pretty one because that goes with the colour of the rose underneath, does it, in the picture? Which is pretty. Oh, look at these. These are beautiful. A little bit of tulle on there, all shabbied up. Lovely. Look at my fingernails. I've scratched it all. Look at that. Love it. Look at these two. Oh, I'm so pleased with those. I think they're beautiful. Right, guys, let's just do this one. And this has got this shape one. Look at that. That's a lovely, lovely shape, isn't it? Right, well, this one's a bit lumpy bumpy. Look, I've got little lumpy bumpy bits on this one. But that just sits on there perfect. Right, let's glue this one. Did I ink it? I did, but it's sort of gone quite pale, hasn't it? Let's go back in. Let's go back in and dirty this up again. There we go. A little bit more. Around there. Yes, I think I need to get a nice pink ink. Oxidized ink, distress ink. I need a sort of shabby pink one, don't I? Have you guys got a shabby pink one? Can you suggest a pretty colour? In the distress ink or an oxide ink, I don't really mind. I quite like the oxide to give that sort of like muted-y, dull sort of colour. It's quite nice. I've got this one, which is the Distress Oxide Spray. It's this Tattered Rose. I had this in the ink, but I found it, you couldn't really see it. I don't know what I did with the ink actually. It wasn't a very good one, because it was quite dry and you couldn't really see the ink. So I'm not sure whether I should try and get it again. Let's just go over this. Is that covered? I think that's pretty covered. Let's make sure we're the right way. Oops. There we go. I think that's straight. Let's just hold that on there. Like that. I don't think I got enough on this one. Don't think I have enough. Oh, and pop. Pop a little bit more. Now, if you wanted to, you can spray them or go over them with a little bit of Mod Podge. Or sometimes I find Mod Podge gets a little bit sticky. So you want really a decoupage glue to go over it, or a sealant of some sort. Look at that. It's just so cute, isn't it? So lovely. Let's go in and see if I can keep the paint on this jar. I think I was a bit heavy-handed scratching that one. Yeah, maybe I should do this with gloves on so I don't scratch it all with my nails. Just go around there gently. There we go. This gives a really lovely shadow effect, I think, around the outside. Do it nice and gently. What's that like? Here we go. It's a little brush. Yeah. Fabulous. So, all those jars that you've had gathering dust in somewhere, maybe you've got some in the garage or you've got some on your shelf or something, have a little play, have a little paint, and see what you can come up with. So I think these are just lovely. And they are, if you want a last minute gift as well, if you made some of these, you could have these to hand, couldn't you? And then pop some anything in it. You could pop some sweeties in it and a little sort of like doily over the top. Oh, that might be quite nice. Don't think, oh, I've got loads of doilies now, haven't I? Wonder what little doily would be nice. You want a little one just over there with a little bit of ribbon around it. Would be beautiful, wouldn't it? There we go. I'm going to add some darker ink now around here. There we go. The reason I'm using the pencil around there is so I don't get ink all over the, if I inked around it, I'd get ink all over the label, because I'm so messy. There we go. Look at that, fabulous. There we go. Like that. I do like that. That's so cute. Oh, I love these. Right, look, I've just seen this little flower in there. Kind of like that. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I like that on there. Look, you could even have them at the bottom, but I think I like that at the top. I like rummaging through all my little bits that I've got. Got so many bits and pieces. Shall we? I was going to put a rose on here, wasn't I? But I like my scruffy little bit of flower there. I've got the pink tool. Maybe I'll wrap a bit of pink tool around this one. Let's see what we've got. Should I do the ribbon first? Not the ribbon. Should we pop a little bit of lace around here? Should I do the same? Because that was quite nice, wasn't it? Popping that in and tucking it inside. Let's just chop this much off. Yes, I like this dirty pink. It looks really nice, doesn't it? Oh, I didn't even use my, got some of this as well. Maybe I'll put that, a little bit of that underneath as well. We shall see. Let's go around. Let's start at the back. Is that the back? That's the back. Just pop a little bit on there. Pop that in. Bring that around. Oops, I got some tulle. Bring that around. A little bit of glue. Stick that down. Fabulous, look at that. There we go. Now we will go inside. Just a little bit. Put that in. Let's hope I've got all of that in there. There we go. Oh, I do like the way it goes inside. I think that's really nice. I don't think I'll glue in there. Swap a little bit more. There we go. Lovely. Let's get all these little trails of glue everywhere. Okay, so that can sort of go in the middle if we make a little bow. I want to wrap a little bit of this around. Just a little bit like I did on the other one. Because this makes it look shabby. Look at this. Let's pop that away. Then I've got a little bit of this. I've got the brighter pinker one, but I think that's a bit too... Quite liking this sort of dull, the dull sort of pink. Let's just tie this into a bow. Not into a bow, into a sort of like a little knot. Can you see? They're just so cute. Ah, do you think it would go into a bow? It's a bit small, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going to do the same like I did on the other one. So it's all sort of... I won't pull too hard this time. I'm going to cut these little bits so they sort of just fray a little bit. You just give it a little bit of a tug. They sort of go a bit misshapen. There we go. And just sort of hang down. Oh, I love it. Look at that. Right, a little bit of this underneath. Cut a little section off. I think I cut a piece off just now, didn't I? It's one of them. Oh, I don't need that little bit. That can go in there. Pop that on, and then we pop the little flower on. Oh, love it. Love it. Let's just pop that there. Take this, squash that on there, just like that. A little bit of glue on here. And then we can just stick that on there, like that. Oh, I love them. Look at that. How pretty is that? Just beautiful, isn't it? I am loving them. Now again, you can go over with a little bit of more of the paint. If you had some paint on here, you could just sort of dab it on, make it a little bit more textured on there. You can actually mix your paint with a little bit of baking soda. And it will sort of like give us sort of like a little texture on there, but mine sort of like had little lumpy bumps in there anyway, but I quite like that as a sort of texture on there. But look at that, guys. I am loving the little diddy one. Aren't they just beautiful? So that's 3 beautiful jars, and that didn't take very long at all. I think they are just gorgeous. So there we go, guys. That is our shabby Saturday for this week. Now this one I'm going to pop my paintbrushes in because I've got big tall ones like this, and my jars aren't tall enough, and they tend to sort of like fall out. So this one is going to be absolutely perfect, which I just love. And these ones, I really don't know. I don't know. I will probably get a little flower to go in there. Maybe I could make one. Maybe we could make one on a little stalk or something. But these ones I'm going to keep on my desk, and I'm going to pop some of these little bits in there to make it look all pretty, and then I know where they are. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a fabulous rest of the day. A lovely evening and a great weekend. So do take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. All right, guys. Bye-bye.